So about 18 months ago, I celebrated my 50th birthday, and part of what I did was go to France with a group of friends. We hired a large old house which called itself a chateau, but I think it was really just a big house, 13 bedrooms, and we had a beautiful view from the top of the mountain in the middle of the forest in Ardèche, which is kind of in the centre to the left of France. This particular photo was taken one day where there was actually a bushfire, though that plain there is dumping water on the smoke that's in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. It was a beautiful day. It was obviously hot. It was at the end of summer. One of my friends, Barry, was there, and he's an adventurer, and he was so excited by this fire. He was up in the tower. That we had a tower in the house that we stayed in. He was up in the tower taking photographs and getting his binoculars out and getting really excited. And the more excited he got, he'd come down and go, "Oh my God! Now it's moving from the left bank to the right bank, and I can actually see flames." And he starts saying, "We might have to evacuate." Now we were at the end of a very long road. And we had essentially an escape route, somewhat like the Von Trapps in The Sound of Music, through the mountain. We could in 20 minutes we could get to the next town. But if the road were cut off, we were actually very isolated. So I started to kind of get really panicky. My friend Diana was in the kitchen making food, and I'm going, "Oh no, if we have to evacuate, what are you taking with you?" And she's kind of like, "I need more butter. I can't make this without butter." I'm thinking, "I'm going to die, and you're caring about butter." I emailed a friend who lived in Lyon and asked him about how do I find out. There was nothing on the internet. There was no radio programs. There was no helpline. There was no protocol about what to do in the fire. I went and saw the neighbour, who basically said, "Oh yes, I've just driven down to see what it's like. It looks like it's okay." It's like, you drove towards the fire? Then my friend Nicola comes home. She and her boyfriend had been out for lunch, and they came home saying there are people touristing by the fires. They've got their little camp stools and their tables and their thermos flasks, and they're literally watching the fire like it's some kind of entertainment. It was such a bizarre experience. In the end, we didn't die, clearly, because I'm telling this story. The fire didn't come anywhere near the house. We didn't evacuate, but it was a very interesting experience for me, and I have to say, very fearful one. So that's the end of the story. In a moment, or in the next video, I'm going to give you some different outcomes of what that story might be about. But before you watch the video, please take a moment to go, what is this story about for you? And we'll find out some of the other outcomes it could have.